And we are back for another segment of the Jawing with Jesse on the Power to the Ground Motocross Motorsports Media Network. I am joined here with special guest Eddie Morris that we are going to have some fun conversations with. I hit a bunch of you guys up on the Discord to ask if you had any questions for him. So we'll jump into those in just a little bit. But first, I want to do a couple of shout outs to our brothers over there at Sunstar. We'd like to give a special thanks to Doug, obviously, who created this meetup that we're having here, as Doug do those things.
Doug do Doug things.
Yeah, Doug does Doug things. So if you guys want to grab yourself some sprockets, some chains, you got to get your bike hooked up for this weekend. Whatever you got going on, jump on over to sunstar-braking.com. Use coupon code PTTG30 and you get 30% off your order. Doug has hooked it up over there and we want to pass that on to you guys. So make sure you take advantage of that. Also, don't forget Bro Taco hot sauce. I don't know, Eddie, I don't know if you love hot sauce or not, but
dude, I love spicy stuff. I'm actually like, wait, what sauce?
Yeah, dude. So Bro Taco it's a partnership that we've had going for quite a while now. There is a bit of a cult following with our audience over here. They developed a sauce that is like special, dedicated to Power to the Ground. It's called the Brap sauce. It's delicious. It's like a honey habanero. It's almost like a spicy barbecue sauce.
Dude, I could have used it for my chicken fajitas I just had for dinner.
We'll get some of that Brap sauce over to you. You can give it a shot.
Dude, I love it. I'm actually like looking forward to it.
Killer. So if you are a fan of spicy stuff like Eddie and I are, jump on over to brotacofoods.com. There's a brand new website over there. Use coupon code PTTG. You'll get 20% off your order. And there's a bunch of delicious sauces over there. So check it out. And obviously, don't forget, jump on over to power2theground.com. If you're into doing your picks, doing some fantasy motocross, we have our Pick'ems challenge on over there. So you can go put in your top 5 250, your top 5 450, and see how you fare against everybody else playing the Pick'ems on over there. And that is all we got for shout outs over there. So let's jump into this, man.
Let's go.
All right. So the first question that I got on Discord, and I've got my own set of questions. I want to make sure that I get everybody who threw them out there earlier first. Doug specifically wanted me to ask you to talk about pulling in your driveway after Redbud.
Well, I didn't pull in until late Sunday night, so I got some friends that I hang out with at the races. Obviously, I didn't race amateur day. I just was kind of over how Saturday went. You know, it's such a long day when you do these events, man. Up early, track, qualifying, LCQ, and like even if you got to do the motos, and it's a really long day. But I didn't get that privilege, man. Red Bull is pretty rough, and as far as Sunday went, I support. I have a bunch of friends that support me. The guy owns a company called Factory Tracks Racing. It's an RC car team.
Oh,
and I've actually went to the races with them a lot this last year and got to know them very well over the last couple of years. And I just supported them, man. Al, the guy that owns it, he raced, he kicked ass all day, and then the kids raced, and it's just what it is, dude. So like pulling in after Redbud, I was smoked. Like it was a long weekend, dude.
I bet, dude. That's a race, an RC team. That's kick ass, dude.
It's crazy, man. Like I never really knew the culture. Like when I think RC car, I think like the Traxxas cars and all the other stuff. And like I met these dudes in California when I went out there a couple of years ago, and ironically are from the same state as me. And like they kick like complete ass at what they do too. It's pretty sweet, man. And like that, literally, the one kid didn't ride at all, and like he rides all the time now. Like the brothers, the dad, all of them ride like way more than they used to, and it's honestly just been really nice to rejuvenate with really good people in my life.
Yeah. Riding's contagious, man.
Oh yeah, like completely. It's like the cleanest drug I guess you can have.
100%, 100% the cleanest drug. Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. So the rest of them were kind of wrapped up into talking about your recovery from your injury last year. But Tiller specifically, before we jump into that, he wanted me to ask you, what is it like riding with a set of indestructible balls?
They dent the gas tank every now and again. So I don't ride crotch rockets.
So that question came out of a conversation we had in Discord. We were talking about your injury and you making it back in time for outdoors this year. So we wanted to talk a little bit about your recovery this year. So how you went about doing that, how it's going. Are you 100% right now?
So, dude, it's weird, man. A lot of people ask me that, and it's like as 100 as I think I am. I don't know if I am. It's such a weird thing to deal with. Like, the one kid, Max 115, I can't pronounce his last name. His dad was a famous racer too. He
Yeah.
had the same thing happen to him in Supercross, and like he recovered fast, but I don't know if he recovered fast either, even though he's young. It's a weird injury, dude, because like I've been told like people down the road that have had it happen, like you can get numbiness in your legs, and like I'm starting to get that, and it's just awkward, man. I did a lot of therapy. I didn't go to like the therapy the hospital wanted me to, because like no offense, I'm not having somebody teach me how to stretch. I can do that on my own.
Right.
And I went to this company. I'm a friend of mine. She's a professional MMA fighter, and like I went out to her to ask him like, what do you think I should do? And this company called HPI has a gym like in DeWitt, and I did all my recovery there with a trainer named Bobby, and the owner's name's Justin, and like that was like I think the game changer for me, man, because like there were so many ups and downs with it, because like I got to where I could walk, which was awkward because I had a broken collarbone and then the left leg, and it was on both different sides, and it was just a lot because like as soon as I thought I was fine, it's like depressing because you're not, and the up and down of it, and then like, oh, I'm really strong. Oh, hell no, you're not.
Oh,
And
dude.
doing all my recovery with them brought a whole nother like stretch and momentum to my hips and strength in my legs I never had. It's like stuff I wish I would have known going down the road, but I guess better late than ever. But I couldn't be more thankful for the opportunity and group of people to make me better. As far as like speed, I don't know if I'm back up to it. I don't know. I might be totally fine with it. It's just I've had people tell me, yeah, people tell me I look better than ever. It's just hard to say. I'm not really good at judging it. I'm just doing my thing.
Right. You're going off of the feel. So
Yeah.
what was the turning point? What do you think they had you doing that kind of turned the tide for you?
So there was a couple days I was in the gym, and I remember like telling the trainer, like, I can't believe how much of a pussy I am. Like seriously, that's like how I felt. Like, don't get me wrong, I've always worked out, I've always been in good shape. I've always done a lot with cardio, but like as far as like strength conditioning, apparently I missed that factor. And then like when you're doing this type of training, you realize, wow, this side's not stronger than this. And then like I thought this was good and it's not, and like I couldn't do it. And that's what frustrated me the most, because it was like demeaning. Like, wow, dude, I thought you were badass. Apparently you're not. But
Oh,
then like
geez.
I went through this phase where like I felt great and I just kept putting in the work. And then it was like, we're awesome. And then like just a little bit. And then you're good. And I'll tell you, this is going to sound completely hilarious. The turning point I thought in it, as I had a super, super bad crash at Battle Creek in the beginning of the year, I like wadded, dude. They somebody didn't doze the track right, left like a wall of dirt, like a big wall of dirt. And I'm like cruising first lap, not even hauling, just standing up, not pinching the bike even, because like I don't expect to hit something like this first lap of a practice. Dude smoked it, wadded down the straightaway. I literally counted like 3 seconds I was in the air on the straightaway until I hit the ground, lawn darted. And I
Oh,
got up and I was completely pissed because I know why it happened. And I got to my bike and I'm just like, dude, that crash last year blew your legs off, which is what happened to me.
right. So you're like, I don't want to say you proofed yourself a little bit. So
Yeah,
like,
dude, you train for the crash.
right.
Like, don't get me wrong, you train for long endurance, and like guys like us have done so many 30-minute motos. Like, you kind of know how to do the 30-minute moto, but like as far as taking the hit, that's why a lot of dudes train. Josh Lichtel's dad, Dave Lichtel, he's telling me he's to practice literally jumping off of stuff and falling on the earth and rolling just to practice the like being tough as hell to like take that hit. And I was like, really? I remember that when I was like 18 or whatever. I was like, that's fucking sweet.
Yeah. I never thought of it like that before, but I mean, the strength training definitely, I mean, so I grew up playing football.
Oh yeah, you took the hits.
Yeah. In retrospect, I wish I had spent more time on a bike than on a football field, but that's basically the same idea though, is like when you're strength training in football, you're strength training so that you can withstand the beating. And I've never thought of training for motocross in the same way. That's a very interesting take on it.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, I've gotten a lot of intel over the years and a lot of knowledge from a bunch of different people. And it's like, I've never had like a super elite, like motocross trainer to like listen to and be instructive. I never grew up in the era of training facilities, which is what it is now. Every place is this. Like, there was only a couple, and it was like GPF, MTF, or Bust, I guess, back when I was like young. Like, my first time I went to a training facility, I think I was like 20. A great family member of mine, she's like a mother to me. I call her Mama Lacey even. She paid and like let me stay down in Mississippi with a really good friend of mine for months on end, training with Cole Thompson's brothers, Jay and Kyle and all of them. And that really like changed my perspective on a lot of things, whether it be strength, conditioning, motos. Like, that's the only time I got that. I was 20 years old, dude. I grew up poor, never had that opportunity, and then like got that. And it's crazy, dude. Our sport's elevating so much now. It's off the hook.
Right. Yeah, it's fun to watch it grow, honestly. That's like one of my favorite parts is one, watching the sport grow, and two is introducing new people to it, because they go hand in hand together, you know. So how long, let's talk a little bit about your background. How old were you when you first started racing?
Dude, I was 4. We had one of the like original Hondas with the yellow wing on it and the steel gas tank. Dad had to put a plug in it every time to ride it, and we'd literally ride a couple miles from where I'm at right now at the dang middle school, because it was a big field and I couldn't hit the fence there. So like, first time I got a bike, I like whiskeyed it, blew my fence out in the yard, and he's like, yeah, we're going somewhere where this can't happen. So the background of that is where it all started. And like, I didn't race till I was like 10 years old, dude. Like, a lot of my friends that I grew up racing with were like winning state championships and lapping me when I like started to ride dirt bikes. It was an entirely crazy thing. And then like, you know, I always tell everybody, dude, I loved what I did, so I got better at it. That's the biggest thing. Like, I train a lot of kids too, and I try to tell the parents this, like, don't make it your dream, it's theirs. If they want to get good at it, they're going to get good at it. Like,
right.
You can't force that, dude. Like, I know a lot of dudes that like tried to be forced, and they like riding dirt bikes, but they didn't really like riding dirt bikes. It wasn't their passion, and they like plateaued at a young age.
Right. Yeah, you can't force passion. That's definitely, that's something I'm learning. I've got a 13-year-old daughter that I would love to be passionate about. She does she races sailboats, and I'd love her.
No kidding. That's kind of cool.
She got into it a couple of years ago, and she likes sailing. She really enjoys being on the water, and she loves just, you know, sailing, but I'm not sure that she'll develop that passion for it. And I'm trying to swallow that pill and be like, because, you know, competitive athlete, that's my first thought. It's like, we're competing here. It's go big or go home time. And
you're trying to like swallow it. Like, come on. I understand, dude. I bet like I'll probably be the same way too when I have children, or if I do or whatever. Like, I'll probably be like so competitive. It'll be like, I am with everything, dude. I'm sorry. I'm guilty of it. I don't care if it's a video game or whatever it is. Like, if I'm getting beat at it, even if I suck at it, like, I'm not happy. I want to get better at it.
Right. And my nephew just started racing motocross this year. He just did his first race a couple of weeks ago, and he's a little bit older. He's 15, But he's a talented rider, and I'm like, I'm at that race and I'm doing my damnedest not to be like tracked at over there. I'm like, not my kid. Got to keep myself under wraps over here. I don't know if Coda's watching right now or not, but if I went over the top, Coda, I apologize. And I apologize in the future if I do go over the top.
Dude,
My
it is
bad.
like I have a bunch of friends that raised kids. I got nephews. I'm like, I'm the same way, dude. I'm like, I'm cheering for you. I'm pumped as hell. And if you're getting beat, I don't know if you feel the same way, but I'm like, damn, man, I don't know. Damn instincts.
Yep. That's what it is, man. Hey, competitive people are competitive, and there's really, you gotta be cognizant of it when you're dealing with other people, because not everybody's competitive.
Yeah, I'm very respectful to everybody, dude. At least I like to think I am. I I look at everything as a perspective, dude. It's a 360 to me. Like, why are some people the way they are and they're not? And then like just respect everybody's opinion, dude. Because whether it's good or bad, it doesn't. Well, just because you don't like it doesn't mean that you're right.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So when did you start taking it really seriously? Like, how old were you?
Dude, you want to laugh? My first ever racing number on my bike was number 4. You know why?
Carmichael.
So like, as far as serious, I like always wanted to be a dirt bike racer.
Okay.
I did. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Like, that's awesome. My dad raced flat track, was pro at it. He had a lot of friends and like that did it, and like I just like to jump, dude. So like that's was my background of it. The old man didn't really moto, and I just grew a passion for it. And dude, here we are. I just like, as far as serious, I think when I was 16, I got hurt like super bad, dude. Like ruptured spleen, torn kidney, all these ribs broke, something with my elbow, like bruised lung, like crazy shit. And like a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, you're fucking never gonna be the same." And I'm just like, dude, I can't wait to ride again. And like I think that was like a part of it that was like, you're serious about it no matter what, in a sense. So a little bit of that. I never got the opportunity to really be pro. So like that injury lasted for a year and something, and the licensing got weird, dude. I don't know if you remember back, maybe it was like '08 through 10, like J Law. I guess they made it so you had to have a high school diploma. Then they switched it up. You could have a letter, but then like it didn't even matter at the time, dude. It was like I had to be 18 to do it. And my mother actually was passing away when I was 18. So like I wasn't focused on any of that shit, dude. I was going through my mother passing away from cancer for like a year and something, and that was my focus. So like 19 or 20 is, I would just like, let's take it serious, but we never knew really how to take it serious. If you want to know the truth, like we knew that there was a place to be and a destination, but how to get to it, not being the richest fella and all that. I just tried to take what opportunities I could, and I worked hard. Dude, I've worked at jobs since I was 14. I've never not worked for something. So as far as when I got a pro license, I didn't get it till I was 23. I traveled with family friends, the Viskers, and if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't have a pro license. So they were friends with the guys owned Mill Creek in Alabama, and they ran the series of pro-ams, and they're like, we're going to go to all these. And I'm like, well, rock and roll, I'll help drive. And I earned my points that way. Heck, my last 6 points, because they made me earn every point of that. Every pro license, dude. I was like, we'll write a letter. I had all kinds of recommendations. I still got down there. You got to get the 6 points. I'm like, all right, screw it. I won't forget it, dude. My grandma passed away, and I was on a flight the next day to Alabama to borrow my friend's bike that they just got, like brand new KTM stock 250, and I finished out my points that day. I think I got it by like 7 points or something.
Wow.
Like, you just don't forget shit like that. And
Yeah.
everything I could, and because like the pro license I attained it, I felt like, well, I guess now we'll try for the Supercross one. So I did arena cross for a few years, and got banged up and barred up and busted up and missed a couple night shows by a tenth and was pissed off to the max and all that stuff. And like I just, like, a part of me wants to earn that license still if that opportunity does arise. And then whatever else, dude, I just try to keep doing little goals, man. Just get better every day as a human. Like, doesn't matter what it is, whether it be with moto or work or family or friends. And I just have a passion for riding dirt bikes, man. That's all this comes down to. Like, until I feel like I'm not succeeding or moving forward, then maybe I'll give up the pro shit, but I will always race. Like, you'll
Right.
see me in like the 30 plus, I'm sure, 40 down the road and all that. I will, like, hell, I hope I'm a quarter as fast as John Gruy at his age.
Yeah, that's my dad's. My dad's in his 60s now, and he was just talking about racing in a couple of weeks here. So it's
Dude, sick. Awesome. You want to know what the truth? I got a lot of friends that are in their 60s that ride. I know somebody 74 and still rides, and he puts on a trail ride up north. And the probably honest to God truth is these guys are still alive because of the dirt bike keeping them active.
Yep.
Like,
body in motion stays in motion.
Dude, my old man talked about on the ride again. I'm like, dude, I would love for that. That would be sick. Like, I don't want you to go really moto, but like trails, whatever. Like, it'd be cool. I'd love it.
Oh man. Sorry, I'm sticking to my seat here. So another one of the big questions that I got that a bunch of people actually wanted to know about was what is it like working full time and being a pro rider?
Trying to do the impossible. It's actually kind of funny. So like the weirdest thing about it is it's frustrating because like you're always fast, and like I still feel like I obviously need a lot of seconds to qualify straight out of practice. Like half the time, it's just putting in the time, man. That's what's frustrating about it, because like you have to fund your own program a lot of time. I do have sponsors, and I've been very blessed this year. I've ran more nationals this year than I have my entire life because of people.
Sick.
And like it's a complete blessing. I've never been more thankful than anything. It's just the sport isn't cheap, and like affording your life bills and affording that, and then just trying to put in time. Like, dude, for this year I've rode more Wednesdays than I have in the last 2 years, which is crazy because I've only rode like 4 Wednesdays this year. I'm like a complete weekend warrior for the last couple years, and it's not by like choice. It's just that's how things are playing out. Last year, COVID, I didn't even think I was going to ride for most of the year, not because of COVID, but I figured that we would just save up some money, get better, and obtain some things. And I had a gentleman that owns Detroit Moto Mob blessed me with letting me use this factory edition Honda. Dude, we went racing all during COVID. It was sick. Like,
oh, that's awesome.
Racing myself into shape. Like, first race we did, I had arm pump with like 2 laps. I was like, like we raced through everything and got better. And it was a fantastic year last year, man. It's being the employee and the rider. It's a lot to balance.
Oh, we just lost you for a second.
Sorry, I didn't know that I could get a call in while on this.
Oh, it's good.
So I'm going to put do not disturb on. I'm hoping that I'm still here.
You're still here with me. It's just a black screen. I'm assuming you're turning the do not disturb on.
Yeah. It's not wanting to reconnect.
No? All right. Drop out and jump back in.
Okay.
All right. I'll be right here. All right. So this is par for the course. We'll wait for Eddie for a second, see if we can jump back in here. And so guys, if you're watching right now, if you have any questions, drop them in the comment section, and I will jump back to those at the end of the conversation. And I'll ask Eddie any questions you guys got. I know who we got in here. Tiller, we got Tiller in here. Doug's in here. Smoker's in here.
Am I in?
You're here.
I'm back. Sweet.
We got you.
Okay, so you're working with do not disturb. I didn't know I could get calls during something like this.
All right. Well, hey, that's good to know. It's good information for the next one.
Yeah.
So I just let everybody know if they have any questions for you to just drop them in the comment section. We'll jump back to those at the end of the conversation.
No, rock and roll, man. Like I said about with work and moto, it's a hard balance, dude. you're not as happy as you want to be. That's the frustrating part about it. And a really good friend of mine talked about this a long time ago. He's like, you're going to get to a point where it's that or not. And like, I'd love to go all in, but I'd have to have someone supporting me. It's just,
Right.
we're just thankful, dude. We're riding dirt bikes. We're not going to retire off this. We're not going to make a fucking living off this. Like, the guys at top 10 barely do, for crying out loud.
Right.
Like, guys like us should be able to make a living riding dirt bikes. Like the best 1,000 in football and NASCAR, you think that they're worrying about next week's paycheck? No, they're not.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
But
That's where
and we're just blessed.
that's where the growth in the sport goes, you know. The more growth in the sport there is, the bigger that pool of riders that can support themselves by doing it is going to get. So, you know,
I
we've
hope
all
in my lifetime and yours we get to see that happen.
right.
You know, like I wouldn't be upset if I wasn't even racing and it happened. I just would like to have that for what's coming.
Right.
You know?
That was a big part in why so this podcast, whatever, it started out as a podcast, and it was a friend of mine and named Steve who we started it out. But that was one of the main things we started this for, is we wanted to introduce people to the sport and help do our part to kind of grow it. And that's my goal. I want to help do whatever I can to help people like you who are passionate in riding, and give, help as much as I possibly can to give them opportunities to get out there and do what they can for the sport. And I wish it was bigger than it is.
Just hear me out. It's awesome. Don't think I'm downgrading it at all. There is a lot of bad and whatever you want to call it, but there's so much more good. The highs of the sport outweigh the lows.
100%.
That's the thing about it. Like blowing your leg off and yeah, let's go race all the nationals that we can next year. You know what I mean? Like it's such a radical difference. It's like we're a circus of misfits. Like motocross gave kids with ADHD and problems a place to thrive. Like if we're being realistic here.
Yep.
You know, this sport's taught me so much more than like, don't get me wrong, I still think you should go to school and all the jazz, but like it's taught me so much more than anything has ever taught me. It taught me about contracts, how to get in and out of them, sponsorship deals, budgets, like relationships with people that you couldn't even, have without being the type of person that you are. And backgrounds of families, like there's so much moto's giving me. I'm thankful for it, dude. Like I train a lot of kids. I'm like teach them things, try to be better. Like I never thought I'd be in a position like that in my life. It's actually pretty remarkable.
So how are you doing with the training? Are you just working with local kids, or are you moving around?
I haven't like really trained anybody on the road except for a little bit in like Florida and Alabama. And that was like off sessions like of people that I met while training in these different areas, but I've never like really like Catanzaro does a sick job of it.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to do something like he's doing. I would love to. Like a part of me wonders like maybe you could fund your racing and be happy with this and still be able to do it by doing something like that. That's made me always wonder that. And I got a really good friend of mine that owns a train facility now up in Michigan, Lucas Lowe, and he trains a ton of kids, does very good at it. Like anytime I can't have anybody work with me, I send them to him. And it's been hard this year, dude. So like, how it is. Nobody wants to really go to work.
Right.
So my hours have skyrocketed at work, and it's a difficult balance. And like, I've been focusing on wanting to try to do good at these nationals also. So like the little bit of time I had by myself, I spent, racing, riding, training, testing, tuning, and just trying to get better and as prepared as I could be for these things. So it's been a little slower than I'd like it to be. Me and Adolf from Detroit Motomob talked about doing a couple schools in the fall up at Ogama or Log Road or Twisted. I am a full-time instructor at Baja Acres, so when I get the call and if we can make it happen, I do up there. That's how I've met people in the past too. I do have a kid that I've trained regularly for like the last 3 years named Carter Hunt, and their family's phenomenal people. Like I love it, dude. I get texts from them about how he's doing at the races when they go and all that. And like he doesn't just train with me either though. Like he goes to SSR. He goes to all these other people. Like, he trained with Carmichael at the school and all that. And like, I highly recommend that they do that. Like, it's funny. Some of these trainers are like, "Oh, just me, blah blah. It's this way or the highway," and I'm just like, dude, like I instruct everybody. Everybody's got something different to teach you.
Right.
Like everybody. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I watch some of the guys that get trained. Like, I think some of their students do this thing weird, but like they're taught to do that because they're raised that way. And then like guys like me are like, we stand up a lot, dude. Michigan, that's where we're from. Like sand, we stand up a lot. But like you watch Tomac and some of these dudes, like that's all they do. They're like developing a different style. And then like you watch the Lawrence brothers and your jaw drops. It's actually impressive to watch the generation style grow. Like they keep their feet on the pegs just about all the time, even in the super deep gnarly ruts. Like we were at High Point, and I remember railing like the High Point double, whatever you want to call it, the tunnel in it. RC did it back in the day. And like, don't get me wrong, they're doing it now, but not like they did then. It was way bigger. And like Jack goes to that corner, the rut's as deep as his knee, and he keeps his foot on the peg. And I'm just like, I don't even know how the hell he does
it. And yeah, that's crazy because I mean, you mentioned AJ, because AJ brought Jet onto his show to do some of the training circuits on the YouTube channel, and you're talking about doing more than one instructor. Nobody's a perfect rider. Nobody has everything 100% figured out. And it's really spelled out when you go on AJ's channel and he's got Jet on over there, and he's just, AJ's a talented rider. Let's not take that away from him. Like not anything against AJ, but he's like putting Jet through his paces with his training circuit that he's putting on with some of these kids. So there's like stuff that even Jet was having trouble with just in this normal training circuit with AJ Catanzaro.
You'd be amazed, man. So like back when I raced arena cross pretty heavily, Mill Creek built an arena cross track, and like I spent a lot of time on it there. And I had a buddy that like he wasn't super fast. He's decent on a motorcycle, but he wasn't like fast as like a lot of us. And we went on the track and we busted the stop out watches before Lit Pro and all that other stuff. And I was like, dude, I feel like I'm hauling, like, but how much faster is this section and all that? And then like I was missed a tenth the weekend before at the Georgia Dome. Literally missed it by a tenth. Missed the show by a fucking tenth. Oh. I was ready to like blow my helmet off the wall. I was so pissed. And I was like, well, where can we get this tenth? So between the triple rhythm sections, he's like, dude, you can't see it, but like blip the throttle a little more and you land. And Jacob Williamson, a good buddy of mine, succeeded in arena cross very well, was talking to me about it. Like, they like, dude, land the thing wide open. Just keep it pinned. He goes, it sounds insane, but that's going to be your 10th. So, like, we busted all this and did that, and I visually couldn't see it. So we'd record me riding, too, and I would see it, and then it's like, holy shit, we got the 10th.
Wow.
And that's some dude that didn't, like, race pro moto, wasn't super fast or nothing, just me and him out, him saying, hey dude, do this, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try it. Tried it faster.
Trial and error, dude, and a different perspective. Sometimes that's all it takes.
Well, you gotta let go of ego too. That's what a lot of riders struggle with. They can't let go of the ego. Like, I'm good, I'm fast, I'm blah blah. What the hell are you gonna know? Like, hell, sometimes a 60-year-old man's gonna tell you something, or even a kid, dude. Again, I remember racing at Redbud, being on a big bike, and a little kid that I grew up with racing 85. He's like, dude, try this outside. And like, he was fast on 80, super fast. He was like, go outside here before the rollers or whatever. And I'm like, all right, what do you know? Way faster. Like, you just, like, ego, you got to have confidence, but you can't have ego, man. Like, yeah, you got to be high about yourself, but like you said, perspective, dude. You can't be a douchebag. Let's face it. That's what hinders a lot of people. Like, I know a lot of douchebags that should be way better than they are, and they're not.
It's a life lesson for everybody. Just, don't be a douchebag. That's really it. Yeah. So print shirts. Don't be a douchebag. I like it.
You'd be surprised, man.
Yeah. I trust me. I'm well aware.
I don't know if we'll sell a lot of t-shirts with it, but like Jake Paul or somebody made that, it'd sell off the
hook. How many people are you showing up to nationals with?
Dude, I got friends at Race Pro, so I'm lucky if I have to go by myself. But a lot of the time, the Austin Horn kid is the dad that sponsors me. That kid goes with me a lot of the time, and I've been super blessed. Like my program's not like super awesome, but because of guys like him, makes it a lot better. It's just easier, dude, having someone around, a support system, someone that kind of knows what's happening. Like we need to go here, we need to do that, and like we're just all learning, dude. It's all a learning curve to me. I'm 28 years old. I'm learning a shitload, dude. Like I'm not an awesome qualifying guy. I can race though. I've always been a good racer. So like there's so much learning with it, dude. Having someone with you is the ultimate blessing. It just is. It just makes life easier, whether it be goggles, bike wash. You don't have a lot of time during sessions. I never really realized that until I started doing a lot of these. Like you basically pull off the track, you get your bike ready, and then by the time your stuff's all copacetic, what do you know? You're out for the next session. Or if you even went out yourself and watched the session, at least somebody's back taking care of your stuff, so you're ready to go out and do it again. Where it's if it's just you, you're doing all this, you didn't get to see nothing.
Right. Yeah, at least take some of the mundane stuff off of your hands so that you can actually pay attention to what's going on around you.
I mean, I've even had my girlfriend on the gate with me. We went to Indianapolis a couple years ago, and it was just me and her, dude. Blizzard, snow. Here we are. We're at Lucas Oil. Like, let's go throw down. And like, that was the best futures round I think I had. The heat race wasn't awesome, but like for no reason, hole shot button wouldn't work. So I got like 8th or something, and they take 6, of course. So I had a decent gate pick for the LCQ, and I actually hole shotted the damn thing on this borrowed ass stock bike, and I was like ecstatic, bro, like mind blown. Couldn't believe I just hole shotted this, and led a couple laps, and then Shock passed me, like flew by me. I didn't even know who he was at the time, but he like blew my doors off, and then it was just like me, Schultz, and a couple other dudes, and like with a lap to go, this dude cross jumped me and almost took his bolt out, and I was the first loser there.
Oh,
but like it was so close, dude, and like
yeah.
Girlfriend's a stag, jumping up and down, pumped as hell. I'm still pissed, but I'm still happy that we made some progress, dude. That's like
right.
The biggest thing with this stuff. When you feel like you're not making progress, like then it's like frustrating. Then you got a long ride home to think about, dude, what can I do better? What the hell's going on? Like
Right.
when I left Southwick, I was pissed. I knew that my lap 2 and my lap 3 were going to be the biggest deal. Second lap, I totally butched it. Never been to the place. Trying to learn and go fast, though. And then third lap, I won on the straightaway. I'm like, well, we're never going to have fast lap time again from here on out. So this is going to be frustrating.
Yeah. That's a tough track, dude. Like, no doubt.
I like it, dude. I love sand, but yeah, no, it was tough as hell. Like,
it's not normal sand, though.
No, it's like, weird. I was slippery underneath, which caught me off guard. Hence why I fell in the straightaway. I slid on it. Couldn't believe that even was possible.
That's what I was trying to explain it to Doug, and I was like, if you stood up on top of the hill and just poured a beer out, you risk changing the entire track, the entire layout of the track.
Like the sprinkler head that was blown at the top of the hill during qualifying just ruined that half of the track.
It was crazy, dude. They had to bring the tractors out again and everything. That was insane.
I'm like, how is the track getting better? But this half of the track is just ass. Like, it makes no sense.
Dude, insane. Funny
that was crazy. About that hill, dude. Funny story. Like, first lap of qualifying, like everybody tries to go like a bat out of hell for no reason before the green flag's even out. Like,
yeah.
Going up the hill, dude, this guy stuffed the berm and his bike flipped up. I'm like, this is going to be sweet because I had someone beside me and I couldn't bail. And I just shoulder checked this damn swing arm and whipped the bike the other way. I'm like, I hope that's not broke.
Wait,
like I didn't crash, so it was a blessing, but like, damn, dude.
Was this in practice or qualifying?
Oh, qualifying practice.
Practice. I think it was around what time was that? Because I'll be honest.
450B.
450B. I think I remember seeing that bike fly in the air.
Yeah, I hit it.
I think we were right on that turn when that happened.
Smoked it. Not cool.
Oh, dude. Yeah, we had a crazy day that day. Unfortunately, my dad didn't get to see any racing because the battery on the car that we took up there died like as soon as we got there. So he was like sitting around waiting for AAA to bring him a new battery like all day long.
Got a similar story like that from Red Bud. My old man, that was the only national he would have made it to, hometown. And him and his buddy Todd T were in his van coming up, and his damn transmission blew. Like,
oh,
I was bummed, man. That was another thing about Red Bud, man. Like, family support system's great, but like, my old man loves going to races. He hasn't been to any nationals this year, which has been kind of sad, but like, it's just a blessing that I even get to do them. I would love to have him there. Like, it's just what it is, man. I was kind of bummed to hear that. I was like, well, shit, dude, I'd love to have you at Red Bud.
Right. It's just sometimes it's not in the stars.
It's what it is, man.
Yeah. So, are you going to be at Dilla?
Nope.
No?
I'd be on my way there right now if I was. I wish I was, man. So, like, I had X amount of dollars to do what I did. I signed up for everything that I could at the time. It was High Point, Red Bud, Millville, and then Ironman. And I had a money moto up in the Upper Peninsula at Christmas the other week. And that was like my budget. Gas is ridiculous right now. And it was just what it was. I would love to be at Dilla. There's talk of wanting to go to not Battle Creek, Bud's Creek, if it is possible. It's just we'd be hauling ass from there back to Battle Creek to race their money moto in our hometown like Sunday to make some money back, But I don't know, man. I just doing what we can. I'm going to get as prepared as I can for Ironman. We're gonna have a little downtime before that even, because I got a bunch of parts coming. How hard it's been to get parts for COVID. So like I got a whole that bike needs a top end. Like we're way over what I'm comfortable at doing on it.
Gotcha.
So like cam chain, piston, crank, gonna do it all in one hit. It'll finish out the year good, and I'll put another cam chain and maybe a piston in it before I go to sell it, and it'll be good for whoever wants a used vet ride in Kawasaki 450. Not by a pro, no pro.
Gotcha.
Trail red.
Let me know when you're ready to sell that. Maybe we'll throw it up on the website for you.
Rock and roll, dude.
Help you get it out there. So, dude. All right. I usually Dilla is one that it's like deep in my heart. We used to go to Dilla like every year.
Man. Is this sick?
Dude, it's so sick. I love Dilla.
Breaks my heart. I wish I was there.
Have you ever been there before?
Dude, no, I've never been. It's straight up a bummer. Never done a qualifier or nothing. And like my dad was, dude, you need to sign up for Dilla. I'm like, Dad, we're like maxed on budget, bro. Like I'm just happy to make it to work the rest of the week because all the parts and bills I just paid,
Yeah, dude, Dilla's a good spot. It's out in the middle of nowhere. We always camped when we went out there. It's it's a great spot, and it's changed a little bit. The track has changed a little bit. I mean, when I used to go, the races used to be on Sundays, so it's a big difference.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's like when they actually raced to qualify. I think I'd have been good in that era.
Yeah, yeah, that was back. Geez, when was it? So Bubba would have been on 125s at that point, and Carmichael would have been on 250s at that point.
So magical seasons, literally.
Yeah, the magical seasons. And we got to see at Unadilla, we got to see both of them on 250s one time before I eventually enlisted in the Marine Corps and then, disappeared for a while. But,
yeah, no kidding, man. How long were you out?
In the Marine Corps?
Yeah.
Oh, just 4 years. I that was plenty enough for me.
I got a buddy that's in the Army, a really, really good friend of mine, and he reinstated and all that, and he's staying in Nashville, Tennessee, and he's liking it, man. I do miss him a lot, though. He was a very good dirt bike buddy too.
Yeah, some people love it, dude. It's just it's not for everybody. I can say that for certain.
Yeah, no, I bet, man. And like, did you grow up racing? I mean, obviously, I feel like you did.
So, I never raced. I've grown up around dirt bikes pretty much my whole life. My dad raced basically my whole life. So that's how I was introduced into the sport, is through my dad, and then he would bring me to races. But I never actually raced. I feel like I wish I had raced, first of all. But I got into other sports as I was growing up. I always had an interest in motocross. I always paid attention to it. I just never, I guess I never had that passion, and my dad never pushed it on me. So,
I mean, it is what it is, dude. Just it's funny me asking you questions, right?
oh, hey, it's a conversation. Like I said, this is a whole bullshit session. So whatever you want to talk about, I'm in for it.
That's all good. I wanted to get to know you a little bit. I just asked you because, my buddy was a good dirt bike racer, and I think that's why maybe he likes and he's tough as fuck at it. Like, I think this stuff mentally, like, to be really good at it too, I think it plays a background in everything.
Yeah,
that's why I asked.
No, it's 100%. Like, and that's when you were talking earlier about like what motocross has taught you. And yeah, you're talking about the stuff that like surrounds it, but just being on the bike, as when you first were talking about it, the first thing that popped in my head was, okay, what are the things that I've learned from like riding dirt bikes? One of them is like physical restraint, because you can't just well, Doug's in the chat right now, whiskey throttle. You can't just whiskey throttle 100% of the time. You know, you've got to have some bit of restraint. Otherwise, you're going to break yourself.
I know guys with steel balls and no brains. I've seen it happen. They're not fast, but like they just do this.
Yeah. No, trust me. The guy that we went to Southwick, his name is Dave as well. He grew up, he and my dad grew up together, just riding buddies. And he was a hold it on type of guy, from what I understand. Yeah. See, let's chug a few beers and see how high we can go.
Rock and roll.
Dude, so sick. So what else you got going on? I mean, you've got training, obviously. What do you do for your full time?
Lawn and landscape, which sounds like a basic thing when you talk to like a dirt bike racer. So hear me out. I worked construction as a laborer for like 5 years, man. It was a guy that sponsored me too, and like we're still really good terms even though I don't work for him anymore. And he was one of my first major sponsorships as like a young racer. And long story short, he's like, dude, I can offer you a job when I was like 20 or 21. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. Why not? Like, I've done the kind of work already with like my whole life. So I was like, why don't we go and get paid decent to do it and all that? And I did it for a long time. In 16, I had an injury happen with my neck. And like, it's the Christopher Reeves nerve or whatever you want to call it. Like,
oh, gotcha.
Had no idea. I thought I threw my back out, and it had all to do with that. So like, I made a decision in like beginning of 18 when I came back from Florida, because a lot of the winters I didn't work because I'd be one of the first dudes to get laid off because I was, newish, and there was a lot of veterans. So like, I'm like, dude, I don't care. I'll go race dirt bikes, right? So long story short, I just looked at myself one day and I was like, do you want to keep doing this? I had a really good friend of mine, Michael Hammond. I like worked and plowed snow with him a little bit in the winter before I went to Florida. I'm like, let's go. I call him like, dude, do you need an employee? He goes, you'd be doing me a huge favor. I'm like, I'm coming to work for you. So he's like, I can't pay you what you deserve. I'm like, I don't care. I want, like, we're at the end of the day, like when you do something and you got to do it that much, you better semi like it. And like happiness is a big factor. I don't want anybody doing what they don't want to do. I was tired of my environment and like a lot of drug usage in construction, dude. I just didn't like it. My body couldn't take it. I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm working this damn hard and then trying to race professional motocross. I'll kill myself. There's just no way. And I was like a mixer doing fireproofing, all stupid shit. Oh. Dude, we do like 150, 200 bags a day half the time. And then I would go ride a dirt bike or try to run or, like it wasn't happening.
Right.
So I went with him, my buddy Michael, and we built this lawn landscape business together over like a year and something. And it got to a point, he's just like, I want to do something different. I'm like, that's fine. And he sold to another guy who is a really good friend of mine now, West Property Services. They sponsor me too. And like I've been with that guy since that happened, and like it's been very good, dude. We got a great team. We got a bunch of employees that came back to work after the COVID. It's not like people disappear and you didn't have no help. Like, trust me, we could use more employees. Everybody can, but like it's been good, dude. So like the relationship of all this is good, and I'm surrounding myself with good people, and that's like the biggest deal of all this.
Right. Yeah, that's cool that you're making it almost sounds like you're making motocross relationships through your professional relationships too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, man. Like I met Doug at Red Bull, first time I've seen him my whole life. Like we've been calling, texting for a long time, and then like I got to put him face to face, and it was cool, dude. I got to do that with the guy from Recluse out in California. I T-boned somebody at the Anaheim Futures. Blew the clutch cover shit, dude. Don't try to fit the moto. And I was like, dude, I need to buy one at my discount. I'm like, he's like, I'm Austin or whatever. And then the other dude is Mike. And I was like, no way, dude. Like, I talk to you all the time. He goes, dude, I know where you are. He's like, they gave me a clutch cover. I was like, dude, it's expensive as fuck. Like, I'll give you my money. Like, he's like, no, fuck that. Like, this is for you, dude. And I was like ecstatic. I was like, that's so cool. Like,
see that
there's so much. Our community's not even that big, dude.
Right,
like,
it's tiny.
It's huge. It's tiny. Like it's cool.
Yeah, it is. That is the fact that somebody gave you a clutch cover. You know, that's something you rest your laurels on. You're not a douchebag if somebody gave you a clutch cover for free.
Maybe.
I mean, I'd be hard pressed to say, you know, that's what the shirt right there. Don't be a douchebag. That's how those things happen, you know?
So you ready for this one? Me and that team RC car guys, we have a saying, and I actually put it on a pit board at Red Bud. This is why it was funny as fuck. But it says, you don't suck. You're just not that good.
Oh, I saw that on your I saw that. I think it was on your Facebook. I saw that earlier.
Oh, dude, it's fantastic. I want to get like little pitboard stickers made and stuff. Like, you remember Osborne had the Never Say Die pitboard stickers on all the Husqvarna rigs? Yeah. I want like me and all my boys is have the little pitboard stickers that say you don't suck. You're just not that good.
That's amazing.
I think it'd be hilarious.
That would be hilarious. That absolutely would be hilarious. Take some pictures. If you get that pulled off, take some pictures of it.
Oh, dude, all day. I'm pretty sure that like so Legui is my graphic guy. He's a very good friend of mine, and we'll make it happen. Maybe that'll be my Eddie Morris signature thing.
That'd be amazing.
At least I'm honest with myself too. I'm not like I'm a top 10, top 20 pro, blah blah blah. Like, no, dude. Like, I'm a good racer, but like, you know, I guess I don't suck. I'm just not that good.
Doug said he'd buy 100.
Love it. On it, dude. So I do have some merch. The Detroit Moto Mob guy, when I got hurt, he bought a bunch of t-shirts, got me made on it with his bike and everything, and we were using that to actually like fund a lot of my medical bills and stuff. Doug bought a bunch of them. Him, the family, the kids got some. Like, it's pretty righteous.
Sick. Yeah. So Tiller just brought something up in the chat. If you want to collab with Power to the Ground on something like that, and we'll send you all the proceeds to help fund your program, we can hook that up for sure.
Dude, I'd love it. I'd be ecstatic about all of it, to be honest. Like, this is kind of like what people don't understand. I know you understand of all people, but like, you support others, support you. And that's how sponsorship works. That's how business works. Like, a lot of these riders think, oh, dude, I'll share you on my social media and I'm a badass and give me all this money and do all this stuff. I'm going to do nothing for you. That's what they think. It's crazy. And I'm like, no. That's not how it works.
Right. It's
like
reciprocal.
A lot of my sponsorships were from work, dude. Like, I worked my ass off for a lot of people, made them a lot of money. And then they were like, I want to help you. You helped me. You helped provide for me. I want to help do that for you. And You know what? It's been fucking fantastic with every relationship I've ever had like that. I learned that at a very young age, dude. My buddy Michael that used to own Defy Clothing taught me that when he used to like literally rent a place in the mall. And now he's got a company called Rebel now. He's probably one of the biggest medical marijuana distributors in the state. And like, very little guy, didn't make a lot of money, and he's probably making a lot now. And like, I learned that at a young age, and I'll never forget something like that. I didn't understand it so much back in the day, but I've taken that my whole life, and it's went a long way.
Yeah, there's a lesson to you kids out there. First, provide value, and then value will be provided to you.
Well, that you don't even have to like, you know what I mean? You don't need to what's the word I'm looking for? Everyone's always looking for a handout in a sense, but like entitlement. There it is. Everyone thinks
Entitlement.
they're entitled to something, dude. I'm not
Right.
entitled to shit. No one has to help me. No one has to give me fucking anything. Just because I did something for you doesn't mean you need to give me something. If I'm really
Right.
doing something for you and thinking of getting something in return, that's asinine.
Right. That's an expectation. And
Yeah,
expectations are meant to be broken. So it's best not to have them at all.
right. Amen, dude. And like I learned that at a young age too. I've had a lot of promise and way under deliver from a lot of people. Like I'm gonna give you the world, and just kidding. You know, we still get that. I've had that happen in the last couple of years with rides and people and shops and and all of that. And if I've learned anything from all of it, dude, that shit's got to be in writing, or it doesn't even matter.
Right. It's like it
There's
doesn't
people on
even exist.
contracts and like they got scared because they couldn't do what they said they were gonna do.
Right. Yep.
Just what it is.
It is what it is, man. There's no use in getting angry about it. It just is what it is. All right, let's jump into the chat here. See if you guys have any questions. Drop them in the chat. We'll pull it up here.
I lost Dougie.
Oh, we lost your video again. Oh, he disappeared. All right, so we're waiting for Eddie to come back. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat right now. I'm going to scroll backwards and see if we've got anything over here. In the meantime, go ahead and drop them in the comment section. They'll pop up on the screen so you guys can check and see what's going on over there. What up, man?
I'm back again.
I would love to have interviews. I'd love to have people come into a studio, and eventually, hopefully we'll get there. But, this is what it is right now.
Dude, you're growing. Everything's getting better. It sounds like one step at a time, dude. You start somewhere and you go somewhere. Like you said, you have a media dude now. That's a first in its own sense.
Yep.
That's a blessing. It's not, oh, that must be nice kind of talk. It's like, no, you earned that. You got to where you did because of it. And like, you keep getting better. Bottom line.
Well, unfortunately, that's not just for Power to the Ground. So I own a marketing agency as well. So, I do a lot of hiring through there. And I'll be honest, I do subsidize a lot of the stuff going on over here at Power to the Ground with that company. So, we're working on growing it. I've gotten Doug pretty, well, I'm not even going to say that out loud. Doug's been an absolute blessing especially since last year when we kind of put this down for a little while because of COVID. And Doug convinced me. He was like, dude, get back into it.
You should have down during COVID, to be honest.
Yeah, I should have doubled, triple, quadrupled down during COVID. And
it's so funny. People like, don't get me wrong, like whatever, like COVID is, what it is. And like things have happened and it's been bad for a lot of people. And like, I'm sorry. And I hope that your lives get better from what it affected you from. But like overall, like, dude, like positive wise, 2020 was a fucking sweet year for me. It was great. I'm not going to lie. Like I rode more, I raced more, I had more relationships with people in general, and like I traveled a shitload. Like the shit hit when I was in Florida. Like it was crazy. I also made more money than I ever did. I was buying and flipping shit on eBay for a killing. Like that helped fund a lot of my stuff because I couldn't go to work, and that paid my bills. And like hell, it got me home even.
Yeah, that's crazy about 2020. I feel like it was like a black and white year. People either had their worst year of their life or they had like the best year of their life.
I think it's down to perspective in a sense too, though. Like we talk about, like if someone's looking for negative, they're always going to find it. You can look right on your phone right now, you can do anything, but like a lot of us look like guys like me and you sound like we look at a positive in something. Like I try to find a positive in everything. And I think that's probably what the game changer is. Even when shit is terrible for me, I've had a lot of bad shit happen. And like, I try to be as good as I can through. And I think maybe that's why I'm, where I am.
Yeah, mindset, dude. You can't write off mindset. It's like one of the most important things.
And I'm still working on it. I'm not awesome at it, dude. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's highs and lows. Like, you balance both of them. It's just trying to have a better attitude towards it. I think I've learned that over the last couple of years. I've been way better at it. Still
Yeah.
not awesome at it, but way better at it.
Progress, dude. One of my favorite sayings is it's simply be better than you were yesterday.
Dude, all day. Like, I'm kind of weird too. Like, I don't know if my ADHD is just that gnarly and I always got to be doing something, but I feel like I have to do one good thing or learn at least something a day in order to even feel like I fulfilled a day. Even if
That's
it's
the way to
something,
be.
you know?
That's the way to be for sure. All right, I'm scrolling through can you see the chat, by the way?
Yeah, this is the first time I've been able to see it, to be honest.
All right, cool. So I just pulled it up. I'm going through to see if there were any that came through before I pulled it up. And then Doug's calling me old, aging myself. Yeah, I'm sure I was talking. It was probably when I was talking about either Southwick or Dilla.
Could always be worse, man. I always told you young as you feel, dude. When I was like 16, I was like, oh my God, 25 old as fuck, 28, blah, blah, blah. And like, I got buddies that are like 33, dude, still can make a national or still do make a national. Like, this is all how you feel, dude. I feel no different now. I'm a little sore than I used to be. But like, overall, like, I feel the same as I did as a teenager now. Like, I get up out of bed. I worked equally as hard. Nothing's really super changed.
I'm not sure guys ever really grow up. I mean, we get more sore.
No way in hell. You've been to any like event that was a sports event? No, nobody grows up. Sorry.
No, absolutely not. So we got Tiller. Tiller had one question for you, and I'll pop it up here on the screen. If he could share only one lesson to young kids, people in the sport, what would it be?
It's kind of hard to throw one lesson on it if we're, because everybody's different. As far as the kids go, man, I straight up like the young kids of the sport, work as hard as you can. Don't ever feel like you ever left anything on the table, and that's going to go farther than anything. And be passionate about it, dude. You either got to like it, and you want to know what? You got to like the lows as much as you like the highs. And if you're not willing to lose, you're not going to win. You got to, you know what I mean? In order to win, you have to lose.
Right.
So you got to put in the sweat and the tears and the laps and the time. If you're not willing to do any of that, you're just going to be a good dirt bike racer.
Right. Dude.
A really good dirt bike racer.
You're dropping knowledge bombs all over the place. Like, that was another sick t-shirt right there. If you want to win, be willing to lose. Boom.
Yeah. Well, don't make me sound smarter than I am either, man.
Hey, I'm just calling it as I see them. Doug said nailed it on that one.
Rock and roll. Love it, Dougie.
All right, guys. So if you've got any other questions, drop them in there. Anything else you want to talk about? Any projects you want to throw out there?
Throw me on the spot. I don't know so much about it. I just grind every day. I get up, I go to work, I work hard, I train when I can, I ride when I can. I try to keep a lot of people in my life as much as I can, like at least the people dear and close to me that I love. And it's hard, dude. And you grow up and you work as hard as you do doing all this stuff. It's hard to fit everything in the schedule, and want to afford to do the things you want to do also is hard. Like, not only do I do all that, I detail cars too sometimes on the side. And I haven't been able to do that as much as I want to do. I love it. My boy TJ's in the chat. 906 me.
Sick. What up, TJ?
He's a guy that was a poor soul that let me borrow his 250 to go race the Futures the other year.
We came full circle.
Dude, super good guy. It's just, I think he regretted it. I don't know if he'll even let me ride his bike anymore.
What do you think, TJ? Would you let him borrow your bike again?
Oh my God. I actually joked about it when we were at the Money Moto up at the Christmas, because he lives close there. I'm like, dude, if my bike doesn't make it out of Friday practice, I'm taking yours out there. Dude, it gets better. So like, we were struggling with some things with it. And my dad texted me. My dad doesn't like really text, but it said, "Ask TJ if you can ride his bike." I'm like, Dad, stop! Like, it was so funny because we've talked about wanting to go back and ride Yamahas again. I've been on the Kawasaki all year and I like it a lot, but like we've been struggling with getting the Team Green program to work. So like with COVID, their budget got all weird, and you're promised X amount of dollars. I've been back and forth all year with trying to get the money that for that program, and I was going to use it to put money back down the bike so I could sell it and not like totally get busted. Like I made all my bike payments for the whole year. I didn't want to deal with it. Like traveling, it's all paid for. Don't have to worry about it. And then I was going to use the Team Green money to put back into it so I could like break even or maybe put a couple $100 towards a new bike for the following year. But that might be the deciding factor on whether I ride that bike again next year, you know?
Gotcha.
Because like you don't want to make that work for someone that really wants to make it work. And especially with the pro racing background, again, I'm not entitled to nothing, but like that support was going to make probably the difference for it. And if that's the case, then we're going to go where we're going to get help. I mean, hell, dude, I'll ride a Huffy if they make a dirt bike. You know,
you're going to find yourself on a Triumph.
I'll be honest, I don't even know what that looks like. I keep seeing weird photos of the Triumph.
Yeah, I know.
But I did see the Woods model had an Öhlins kit. Like, that might be kind of cool, but I don't know. Öhlins ain't even that awesome either, though, I think, you know? Like, it's nice, way nicer than stock stuff, but, like, they're going to charge up the butt to, like, sell that on the bike, you know? It's kind of like the casual coatings on the Honda. Like, it's an A-kit. Are you kidding me? Like, you're going to tell me that the factory edition KTM is the game changer, too, with the Red Bull graphics? Like, stop.
So Alan says gas where it's at.
Yeah, he wants to ride one bad. And to be honest, if I was going to a KTM brand, I would ride a gas. I've rode his. So funny story. When I was recovering from my hip, I probably shouldn't even have been on a dirt bike at all. And I rode his bike down at Croom in Florida, like trail riding with kids. And, you know, long story short, I rode his gas too. Cause like I want to try one, like see what the difference is between the Husqvarna and KTM and that. Cause I do a lot of riding. I ride all different bikes just so cause you never know you're going to be on. And you got to be able to about anything too. So tried his bike out, dude. And I was like, take it back. It's fucking nice. You know, it sucks riding like something that you were like fast on. And I'm going to look fast and feel fast in anything. But when you hop on something that's better than what you had, you're like frustrated because you're like, well, fuck, now I want it. You know? So what do you a gas, just finding help on one is what it is.
Yeah. What do you like about the gas?
It's red.
It's red? All right.
I'm just kidding. So I rode the KTM, I rode the Husqvarna. I'm just a big fan of the hydraulic clutch, Brembo brakes. They're skinny and like they're fast. They don't hit like crazy, but like it's a controllable power all the way through. So like the Kawasaki's really fast and abruptive, and I'm pretty comfortable on it. There's some things that I'd like to be better at on it with just handling wise, but again, that takes time and tuning, and I don't get all the time that I would like to. But long story short, back to the gas, of course, there's just a lot of good with it. And if I was going to go buy a KTM, the money that you would spend extra to like buy a KTM, it's just cheaper to have the gas and put what you want to on the bike anyways. Like I'm not going to run an air fork. That's dumb. Like it's always been dumb. I've never been a fan of the air fork. The only air fork that I've ever semi-liked was the A-kit one that like Enzo and like the Star Yamaha guys use. That was the only one I was ever a fan of. Other than that, like air fork, dude, I'd rather put them right in the trash and run from 7 years ago on a new modern bike. I did that with the Hondas back in 14 and 15. I took a set of 07 250 forks and put it on it and screw them one chamber air forks. Junk.
Wow.
Couldn't get them to work. Tried everything. My suspension guys was phenomenal with me. We tried all kinds of stuff. We put the Kawasaki seals in it because they held better air. KYB came out with a special oil that was like a grease to go in it. We tried that. We tried everything, dude. I just couldn't. I struggled being a fan of it. I just always did.
Yeah, that's another love it or hate it type thing. People either are completely bought and sold on them, or would just throw them away, like you're saying. You know, just drop them in the trash.
my buddy's like, need to ride my 450 again. I haven't rode it with this KYB inserts on it, and I'm like, I don't want to because I'm gonna like it too much. I'm a big fan of KYB stuff too. Like, if you notice, dudes like Cole Seeley are still shredding on the gas, even though it's a KTM. I literally think he just put his red plastic on it because he was the TL or whatever for years.
Yeah.
And his stuff's KYB. Like, a lot of dudes run KYB. Tomac runs KYB. And I think it's a big, comfortable thing. Probably a big reason he wants to go to Yamaha. Suspension guys there, they are on KYB. The program's obviously way better. Like, so if I'm to get a KTM brand bike, I'd probably like to go that route. I've even wanted to use MX Tech's got some really nice stuff too. My suspension guy is like really good friends with him, and it's just, dollar amount, $1,200 cartridge kit. Like, what do you want to spend? It gets better the more money you spend, right?
Right. 100%. Yeah. If you got $100,000 to drop on a bike, you're gonna have a pretty kick-ass bike.
I wouldn't even know what to do if I had a bike that night. But, so, funny story, the nicest bike, I think, like 250 wise, especially I ever had. I had a nice 450 back when I was 18. Ron Hamp built it. We had a lot of nice stuff on it. That bike was sick. The 250, nice one I ever had was Scott Champion's one when he rode for strict Yamaha or whatever. I met Billy Urban randomly. Like, got forwarded this stuff on Instagram, seen the bikes, and for what they were asking for, I was kind of thrown off. And I messaged. I didn't know I was talking to him. I think he managed the team even at the time. And I was like, why is it so cheap? Like, he's like, dude, we're just trying to get crate price for what we got him for. The owner just wants to sell them and like give them to guys like you that would benefit. I'm like, it comes with the A kit, comes with the Pro Circuit engine, like comes with all that, right? He's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, just please hold one of the bikes. Like, it had a cut subframe. Scott Champ was my same size, weight, everything. And it was a supercross bike. And it didn't even have, I think it had 8 hours on it. He got hurt before the end of the season. So, like, this bike didn't have a lot of time. I'm like, don't sell it. Just let me try anything in my power to make this happen. And me and my dad and girlfriend jumped in the van, went over to, I think it was Minnesota or whatever. Yeah, Minnesota. And met the owner of the team. I didn't know we were meeting the damn owner of the team. So that opened up some doors too. Dude, Scott was awesome. The guy that owned the team, like, super great guy. Like, I think at first he just like thought we were doing a bike deal and bouncing. And then like we started BSing and like talking no different than me and you. And I probably couldn't shut up. And my dad got talking too, which is rare. And like we were there for an hour, like just talking. And he actually cut the deal on the bike even lower than what I did for it. And then he wanted to help me out race. I actually got a call on New Year's at the end of that year. I'll never forget it. He called me on New Year's. He's like, dude, do you have a Supercross license? And I'm like, no, man, the road to BS is kind of screwing me. And he couldn't afford, my bad. He probably could have afforded to help me do that. But like the way stuff was done then through the team, he couldn't help me do arena cross, but he said that I could have went and been a fill-in rider for the West Coast. Cause I think the rider at the time broke his leg and it sucked. I tried my ass off to get it, but I only got to do X amount of rounds, dude. And the one I made never mattered because I didn't know this. And this was news to me when it happened. The East Coast points didn't go over to the West Coast. So like, I'm like, dude, this is impossible. Like I'd have to spend whatever, like, I could have just not sucked and made it right in too, but
it's the sticker again.
That was like the best bike I ever had, dude. It was sick. It was probably like I want to say a $20,000 to $30,000 bike. And it was dope, dude. It was dope as fuck. Like, people don't know how privileged they are riding practice bikes like that.
Right.
Like, they were a satellite team at the time, and their shit was awesome. Like, I think Scott got a 10th at one of the rounds or an 8th on that bike. So it was capable of a top 10. But, like, it wasn't a star bike. Obviously, everyone's always looking for the star bike. But, like, that thing was fucking sick, dude. That was awesome. I wish I could have had a bike like that now. Like, I'd race 250 class if I had a bike like that.
So, I mean, talking about bikes like this is something I've always been curious about. Where do you think you would sit if you had a factory ride?
That's a tough cookie to crumble, dude, because, like, you watch dudes like Alex Ray do it, and they had actually better success. I think there's a lot that comes with it. Obviously, there's a certain pressure because you've seen dudes let go. But, like, maybe being a fill-in rider in those positions is a lot better because you don't really have any stress. And, like, fill-in riders aren't really getting paid unless they do good. And right. I think just overall, like, an environment like that, even a satellite team, because, like, you hear me talk about having to drive to races and do all this stuff yourself it creates its own problem, dude. Like, you're the mechanic, you're the driver, you're the this, you're the guy that gets the sponsors, you're the guy that balances your nutrition, you're the guy that does all this. Like, with a program like that, it would simplify life. Like, I don't know how well I do. I couldn't tell you the truth, man. I've rode with really fast dudes, and even like the guys that are pro now that are like top 10 dudes, and I beat them a couple of years ago, but they weren't on the bike that they are now. They didn't have the program back then or like now, you know, like there's a lot that goes with it. It would be a learning curve, man. Like, some people will get there a lot faster with the privileges that they do than I would. I think it'd be a really, really big learning curve. Would I do better? Fuck yes, I would. I wouldn't have to work a job. I wouldn't have to. There'd be a lot less. There would be no pressure, dude. Like, go do your thing. Like, fuck yeah, I get to go do my thing that I always wanted to do. That itself, and not having to worry about if you get fucked up and something happens. That just, like, watch some of these riders get re-signed. Like, yeah, you get a 3-year contract. They go out and win the next fucking race. You know what I mean? Like, it's hilarious, and I know you've seen it over the years.
Yep.
Like, significantly better. All you do is relieve the pressure. He doesn't have to worry about having a job now. You
right.
know? Like, yeah, oh, sick. I'm guaranteed this good bike. I'm ready. Let's roll. Why in the first place?
All good. Yeah, going into contract years, I've definitely seen that 100%. When the riders go into the contract year and they're like expected to, you know, oh, they're going to show up because they're riding for a contract now, and then they just absolutely bust. It's happened like 100 times.
It's all different, man. Some of these guys promise to, you know, like, there's amateurs that come up, dude, race their same team for years, 1 year in the pros, and they shit can them. Get out of here. You spent all this time into them and did that to them. That's a big F you.
Yeah. That's messed up.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, there's a lot of good dudes. There's a lot of good dudes.
Yeah.
Different? Never know.
So here's another just off the wall question for you that we've talked about before. What do you think it would be like if they changed the production rules in motocross? So like everybody had to be basically riding a bike on the level with each other.
You know what's funny? Me and Kale, 168 races and nationals, joked about like the electric bikes coming in.
Yeah.
I feel like that might balance the things out. Like, I was joking, like, dude, guys like me and you'll still be racing at 40 if that happens, because it might be fair. But then you say that, and there might be a more powerful battery for factory, whatever it's out at the time, and all that. But like, it might make it more affordable too for guys like us, because we're just doing chain sprockets, basic things. We're not doing oil all the time, filters. We're just buying sick rims and suspension and regular maintenance things.
Right.
You know? So I don't know. It's all intriguing, man. I don't really know how to feel about that subject, you know?
Gotcha. Have you ridden an electric bike?
Oh yeah, dude. I was Alta was in with one of my old sponsors with US 27, and we did this big shoot. I was gonna be a commercial, all this, and then they announced bankruptcy like a week
ago.
Dude, fucking bummer. Bike was sick, loved it. Lap times are faster on it than my own 450. My 450 didn't even have 12 hours on it then. I told my dad when I came, he's so, how'd you like it? I'm like, Dad, this is going to sound disgusting, because I was not a big fan of the movement, because I love gas power engine, all that. But like, I was like, dude, it made me feel like my 450 was a vintage bike. Isn't that crazy? That's fucking insane. And they're like, oh, heavier. I'm like, it felt like a toy. It didn't even have good shit on it. It was a beat demo bike. You know? Like, dude, we put an A kit on this and some like sick wheels and like some time. Like, this thing's gonna be dope.
Right. Oh man, that's the thing that I'm like, oh, what could have been? What could have been? Like, I watched them I think I caught on to them in 2009, 2010, somewhere around that, in Instagram, and I just like watched their Instagram to like continuously grow, and then all of a sudden there was like pro riders jumping on them. And then I just watched the whole collapse, and I was like, oh, God.
It's a bummer, dude. I think what happened is someone invested, stole the technology, and bailed.
Yep.
It happens to a lot of brands. It's sad.
Yeah.
Because, like, they were good people, dude. Every one of them guys, they showed up in sprinters from California, and you're like, yeah, dude, this is us. I'm like, this is awesome. This is literally what we do. Like, they're great people, man. It was such a cool program. It's such a shame that it went the way it did.
Oh, that's too bad. Maybe they'll I don't know. Maybe they'll come back. They'll get another influx of.
It'd be cool too, dude, because like it was gonna give me, I think, an opportunity to maybe test like as a
Right.
test drive. Like I'm pretty good when it comes to like trying a bunch of different things and intel and all. At least I think I am. I'm always willing to learn and try too. And then I think that would have been just a cool thing to adapt with and get better at. Like I see
Right.
Nate, he had like a clutch lever on. I don't know if it's because he always kept his index finger up, but I seen a wire run into it. It almost made me wonder if like he used it to like retard the engine with it, like something that we never got to see, and then the company fell under. Like
Yeah.
the shit like that. Like it's just mind blowing what I think we missed out on.
Well, there's definitely a lot of talk of other manufacturers. 100% it's coming. So, it's what was it? We just talked about it a couple of weeks ago. There's an electric series coming overseas starting in January. Yeah, all electric series.
Too bad it's gonna be impossible to go over the water.
Yeah, true story.
I had a dream of totally off subject, but I wanted to go race the Red Bull Beach race, and like felt like maybe I'll bring some suspension and a bike shop might sponsor me for the event or something up there. Like that was like a dream of mine to go do something like that. That shit's been thrown out the door since. By the way, guy that bought my A kit off the Scott Champion bike lives in Africa. I still
Really?
talk to him. Super cool dude, vet rider. I talked to him. His buddy owns a thing down there. And we talked about me going over there and running a race over there in Africa. I'm like, dude, fuck yeah, that's like a bucket list thing. Let's go. Like, I'm ready. And COVID's, doing what it's doing to us.
Just screwing. I mean, ugh. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's a weird world we're living in right now, for sure. See what? I'm sorry. I'm checking through my chats here. Doug's saying some stuff. Not sure. Oh man,
he's picking on the guys that had money with Alta. Hey, I got a question for you really quick. My phone might die, so if you see me moving around, I'm grabbing a charger. And if you hear barking, I have a golden retriever.
Oh, sweet. Tell him I said what's up.
Oh, you'll hear him. There he is. Bark, bark.
Sweet.
He's gonna start getting really loud.
That's all right. Dogs do that.
All right. I might black out for a second.
You're good. Yeah, Doug, I think you're right. I'm pretty sure Harley was the one that came in and bought up Alta. When they announced bankruptcy, I'm pretty sure Harley came up, and that's nearly certain what ended up becoming the Livewire.
All right, are we still on, guy?
Yep, I got you.
All right, might be a little darker, but it is what it is.
Oh, it's good. We'll probably only go a couple more minutes, see if we get any more questions in here. We'll read through. TJ said, I would absolutely love to see Eddie on a built bike with all things a factory team has. I know 100% he would ride the wheels off of it, and he no doubt would deserve it.
He watched me blow the fork caps off my bike at the Money Moto when I was there, so he's right about riding the wheels off it. No, bro, it'd be awesome. I would I rode my buddy's bike that I ain't gonna say his name because he probably wasn't even allowed to do this, but he had factory support from a team, and it was a KTM back in the day, and I got to ride I didn't even really get to take on the track. He just let me ride around like the arena cross for a second, and I didn't even get a lap, and I just rode it back and because it's a bike that is logged hours, and I'm pretty sure they track the thing, and it was crazy. It's the throttle response was so smooth and powerful. It's you get whiskey on it, but you couldn't, it just awkward, and it just so much nice shit, dude. It's a joke. And guy like me's on a bone stock bike, try and ride with him and train with them, and I could almost go as fast. But it was just so much easier, I think, for him because he's doing the triple single rhythm and he's scrubbing it, and I'm seat bounce, stretching, barely making it. And if I get wheel spin one lap, I don't get to do it.
Gotcha. See, I don't know. I guess I don't like that idea because to me that it takes a rider a little bit out of the equation.
Yes and no, man. Because I don't care who you are, getting on something like that, you gotta know how to ride it too.
Yeah.
we're all great racers. I feel like it does in a sense. I think it just makes it easier on you because like you can go ride a 500 and get a hell of a hole shot and barely hold on to it for a lap. You know what I mean? You still got to do the 30.
True. That's a good point. Good point. I'll take that.
You know, I don't know, man. It would be sick, but like you said, it does make things easier, which makes you use less energy, which makes you go faster in the moto. I won't deny that for a second. It's like having really nice components in your bike, man. It takes a lot less energy out of you to go fast.
We'll keep an eye on it. We'll see what happens with the because I do, now that you mention it, I do think that they're the electric stuff may actually play a role in that. And, you know, they may eventually come out with batteries, but I think it would probably be easier to regulate those changes that you make to the bike with just a battery.
Yeah, definitely. And you want to know the truth? If you got a friend that's really, really smart and knows how to work his way through technology and hack and code and all that, then you got something maybe the other guys don't.
Right.
You know, especially in a privateer program, like, a lot of them are just dudes that, no offense, don't have education like that. And they're just like out like knowing how to twist the throttle. And if you have some damn knowledge, it might work in your benefit.
Right. Interesting point. Nerds might run motocross.
Nerds are going to run a lot of things. Honestly, like, I'm happy that like the gen change, because like there's a lot of riders that go to school. Walker did it. Cartwright did it. Justin Cooper did it, and Cooper Webb. Like, when we were racing amateurs, I went to school. Cooper Webb went to school. He graduated high school. He's in, you know, his class wearing a Red Bull hat. Like, everyone's like, doesn't even think twice. They don't know that it's like, he's an athlete. You know, that's why it's funny.
That is funny. That, yeah, because it really is. I mean, we watch the sport, and you know, you're in the sport, and you can kind of lose sight of like just how small the sport is. Yep, Can.
Yeah, I just like reading the comments. Some of them were hilarious.
Yeah, it can get rowdy in there sometimes.
I see that like the Deegan comment, Danger Boy always gets brought up in anything to do with technology.
Yep.
Oh man.
And anything brought up with Loretta's.
Oh yeah, no, I know. It's almost funny, dude, because like the fan page is sick, and to be honest, they're gonna bring that side of the sport that you talked about that nobody else did.
Right.
Like, it's gonna, to be honest, if the kid said, "Screw dirt bikes, I want to make YouTube videos," that's it. That's all I want to do. They can do it. Whole family's got pages. Everything's great. Deegan's been a genius with business and media his whole damn life. He knows where it is, where the attention is going to come from, and he's succeeded with it great. You know, but like, as the comment stayed, like, dude, he's on a super sick bike. You know, I remember being an amateur and having a stock bike or one with pipe and reeds in the mod class, and that's literally it. Or you rode the stock bike because you had to run the same bike in both classes. And Cincerello's out there on a like $100,000 Superman, just fucking killing it, you know. You know, and it's sad because like one of my friends joked about it. They're like, "You can't buy fast," and I'm like, "Fuck, it sure looks like it when you go around the pits at Loretta's."
Doug says the Deegans are kings of the Moto Media Mountain right now. I would agree with that.
They're on the top, slaying.
Yeah, 100%. And I didn't really notice that 100% until last year when I watched Loretta's, dude. And that's all the entire broadcast on Loretta's. That's all they were talking about.
You can't type Deegan in motocross without the name Deegan showing up on anything.
Right. Yeah, I guess it never occurred to me until it was like in my face when I watched Loretta's last year. Dude, and again this year.
You watch Loretta's, you can see who their favorites are. Like, it don't matter what class it is. You're watching the 50 plus. It don't matter if Mike Brown's a mile ahead. I see a lot of Jeff Emig. You know, no offense to him either, like rock and roll, but like you can tell who everybody's favorite is. Bottom line, like you watch the 80 class, this other kid's winning. Here's Deegan. Like, whatever, man. It sells. People love it. People like it. They're in the chat box. Bring it.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta embrace it because it's anything you can get to help grow the sport, and like it or not, that's what's growing the sport. And there,
Look at Jet Lawrence, man.
yeah,
Like it
dude,
don't matter. There are people cheering for him if he's in freaking 14th.
right?
Like it's awesome. Like the demographic that he's bringing is crazy. Like
Yeah,
rock and roll, dude. Good for you, young kid. You made this kind of impact on people. I was in the stadium, Anaheim, when he endoed and broke his collarbone and almost beat Fernandez. I've never seen a Supercross like that in my life. The whole stadium jumped, and the damn cement concrete shook from hit when he crashed. Like the screaming was insane. I had a buddy that raced the next day with me. He said I was asleep in my camper, and the booing from Fernandez and the screaming from Jet crashing woke him up. He thought it was a thunderstorm out in the parking lot.
Oh my god.
Like you can make that impact, dude. Good for you. I hope all you guys use it in the best way possible.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's got a crew, like an awesome personality. So I'm wondering if he's got like maybe he's got some PR help somewhere behind the scenes helping him with that. But it seems like he's
Dude, maybe I think he's just a teenage kid that's having a great time. And you want to know what? I'm sure he gets some advice because like he's running clothing lines. He's very smart at business. If not, you're just seeing a very mature in a sense teenager, because we've seen the teenagers that weren't mature and came out through our sport and how they're doing now versus how some dudes have been doing that kept their stuff together.
right.
And I ain't blowing names because that's just insane, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you don't need to. I mean, Jet's a perfect example of what to do.
Yeah.
And
Be
then
yourself and love every freaking moment of it.
yeah, 100%. I'll never forget that it was one of the interviews he did with the Hot Pocket. You remember that one? It's
so pissed. He's like, "What are you doing?" Like,
it's protein.
dude, I'm hungry. He goes, "You know, if there was a glass Hot Pocket yesterday trending, right, and you're eating one in the live press conference, like,
it's protein."
Like, whatever, man. And it's funny, dude. So like, these guys have great diets. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of us, and like even us guys, like we try to have a good diet, but it doesn't mean that like as long as your good outweighs your bad, I think you're fine. It's when the
Right.
bad outweighs the good is when it becomes a problem. Like, yeah, it's funny. I love seeing Jet eat a donut. Like Kenny, remember the year he like got up on the podium with the Coors and a piece of pizza? Like, oh look at me, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's great, dude. Like, there's got to be some fun in this. There's got to be some seriousness in this. This boring ass, same repetitive shit is stupid. That is not our sport. It's not. I'm sorry. We're a bunch of damn carnies that run around the country in our own vehicles, do a bunch of crazy shit. Like, let us have our personality. That's our fan demographic. That's who we are. Let us be us,
Bunch of damn carnies. I love it.
Dude, for real. Like, why do you think Lawrence was so loved and is still loved and talked about to this day? Like, he was himself, and they let him be himself. Don't get me wrong, I didn't agree with some of the stuff, but what the hell ever, man. Cool. Like, I remember seeing his podium interview at Washougal, second moto. He's like, I don't even know how I got here, but I don't even think I deserve it, but, I'm here. Like, I'm like, what? Like, like, hell yeah, dude. Like, I love it. I do.
Oh, dude, that's sick. Yeah, when I went to Southwick, out in the where all the vendors were, they had a tent set up, and there was a bike set up in the tent, and then on the other side of the tent there was an empty case of it was an empty donut case, and it just had one fake donut inside of it. It was a simply there to just set up to be a shout out to Jet and his donut.
It's freaking beautiful, man. When I was getting my pro-am points, dude, my like really good friend Seth and Lucas Lowe and the Viskers, like I was traveling with them. I would think I was racing 14 plus or 24, whatever you want to call it, then just an extra class. All I had was a 450, and he was out on the track with this giant Rice Krispie treat, dude, like the big ass $40 one. He was used as a pit board cheering me on. And I'm like out winning the damn, fast ass class and shit at this pro-am. Like, it's fucking hilarious. And then the other dude's like flashlight. We looked like we had the most fun, and it looks like we didn't care the most. That was the best part about it. Like,
yeah,
I'm all for it, dude. Like, yeah, like let's joke that we're piles of crap and we're not. I think it's funny.
It is funny. That's what it's personality. It makes it all that and that you can see it. The riders who present the most personality are the ones who have the biggest fan bases.
Dude, all day. Like, I'm all for seriousness, dude. Like Kennard, like Trey Kennard, super serious guy. Amazing, great human. And then like, yeah, I love Kennard, but like I said, I love to see J-Law. I'd love to see more of that. I'd love to see riding videos of him. We get one once in a while, but you know, I love seeing that personality, dude. Tyler Evans, remember he was the bad boy. Do we have that anymore? No, I don't think we do.
No.
You know?
I mean, we've got people who, you know, they have like I guess I don't know, like bruiser personas, kind of like Bam Bam or
yeah,
but I think that's the closest.
Example? Like, let's be real here. Well, you had him as Venom at Washougal. That was fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Like, you took the bad guy that everybody loved and gave it to the bad guy that everybody loves.
Right. Yeah, Doug says make moto great again.
Exactly. And it's funny because, like, that slogan's caused a lot of grief in our industry even too, dude. That's part of the reason Geico ain't around, you know? Like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Why not let us be us, dude?
I don't know. I think that's a great question, and I think it comes down to the sponsors. But
dude, tell a rapper or a musician, like, hey, you can't drink, you can't be you can't be rowdy, you can't total your car. Like, sorry, that's why I love listening to Machine Gun Kelly. That's why I love, you know, like how stupid all this shit is. Like, they are them. They're not afraid to be them. You think their managers, like, you remember like listening to Eminem probably when you were a kid. Remember the skits of him talking to the manager? You imagine how Paul felt?
Yeah. Yeah, like, I remember
stop
them very
doing
well.
This, but it made you.
Fair point.
How do you stop that?
You can't. No, dude, that's that's a great point. Oh man. All right. So I just realized what time it is. Let's wrap this up. So what's the next race you're going to be at?
So there's a Money Moto that's happening in a night series nearby that we talked about doing. Then the following weekend is the Budds Creek that I wish I was going to.
Gotcha.
But, we're probably just going to go over to Battle Creek. They have a Money Moto with a good purse. And they'll put us some 30s in, make some money. You know, good time, good practice, all that. And then I think after that's Ironman, man. And then we come back in town and finish up with some more Money Motos. And I'll do some MX schools through the years over. And I don't really know what I'm doing for winter. I might just work all damn winter plowing snow for my boss and save up some money and do this again next year for, you know, old time's sake and go to the places I didn't get to go this year. Maybe, I don't know what they're going to do with the futures. Like I said, I'd love to try to earn a Supercross license if I had the opportunity. I'd have to go get a 250, of course, and all that jazz. But at the same time, like, there's no plans for that because there's no announcement for it. So what do you do at this point? Do you get 100% healthy and go in on one series, or do you try to go after the thing that you've wanted to do and try to accommodate for both? Like, we're just kind of up in the air, man. We're always down for whatever opportunity arises, and we just try to take advantage of whatever we can get.
Sick. All right, dude. Well, hey, keep in touch, and you know, if you've got time, feel free to send me a text. We'll get you jump back on here and you talk about, you know, whatever it is that you want to talk about at that time. We run 2 shows a week too, so we've got a Thursday night, and then Doug and Tiller run their show on Monday night. So if you want to come in and talk about results on Mondays, you're more than welcome anytime.
No problem, dude. Like I said, I don't got a problem chatting, obviously.
Dude, it's great to meet you.
Dude, privilege meeting you too. I love meeting good people and having good conversations and actually, you know, BS and not just a bunch of BS.
Right. Yeah, that was the point. I didn't want to make this you know, I didn't want to make it too serious. I wanted this to just be a bullshit session, and I'm glad we did it this way. Absolutely. It was fun.
dude, I can balance out both. I can be serious. I can be this. I can be that. Like I talk about just about anything. Like I said, other than maybe some views, because I ain't about to get internet blasted. I'm sorry.
Nice. All right, so we'll wrap it up. So for you guys out there, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for bouncing around in the chat. We get to follow along a little bit with some of the funny stuff going on in there. Again, don't forget, jump over to brotacofoods.com. Use that coupon code PTTG for 20% off your order. the shotgun. Jump over to sunstar-breaking.com. Use the coupon code PTTG30 over there and get 30% off over at Sunstar. And of course, over at power2theground.com. You can go over there, do the Pick'em Challenge, which is our motocross fantasy setup that we have over there, all that kind of stuff. Hey, where can they find your merch at?
Dude, you hit me up on my Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, just about anything, to be honest, dude. I'm about the easiest person to get a hold of. If you direct message me or you direct message Detroit Moto Mob, honestly, we got a lot of, dude, we still have a lot of clothes. Like, we've sold a lot, but we have about any size, dude. The kids need some. We favor the big dudes too, man. I got a double XL for anybody. Like,
dude, you guys hear
merch,
that?
Man.
Let's hit him up on Instagram. Let's get all of his stuff sold. Doug, you heard it. Let's pump it out there. Let's get all of his merch sold.
Get it on Facebook too, man. Put it on everything, dude. Like I said, it just helps me have gas money to do the next best thing. Or spend more money with Doug, so he definitely wants the t-shirt sold. I love it.
Doug doing Doug things, man. Doug doing Doug things.
Dude, all day, man. And whoever buys something, take a picture of it. I'll share it on everything, dude. I appreciate your support and even the thought of me, like, being on a t-shirt and you want me to be a part of it. Like, rock and roll, dude.
Sick. All right, man. Hey, it was great having you on here. Again, I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna bug you from time to time. So just a heads up.
Out of me, dude.
I will. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for jumping on here with us. And yeah, I'll be in touch, dude.
Hell yeah, man. You have a good night. Thank you very much for the privilege, and I'm sure I'll talk to you soon.
No problem, dude. It was a great time. Great to meet you.
All right. Great to meet you too, man. Everybody have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. I'm pumped about it.
All right, everybody. Have a great night. I will see you guys next week. I'm out. Peace.
All right. See you guys.